Trying to find out exactly what Mazie has done, what she thinks, and what she will do is like sticking your hand in warm jello. There's just nothing there. And that, I think, is not acceptable to the voters. Mazie, voters want to know, what have you done and what will you do? We need to know what you believe, what you think, and what you will do, and we need to know what you have done. This is what is owed to the voters. Which brings us to the subject of debates, because of course, a main reason for us to have debates together throughout this state is for voters to size us up side by side and listen to what we've done, what we think, and what we will do. Yesterday, Mazie turned down another debate, a debate offered by Hawaii Pacific University for a time slot that we had already agreed to be available. And I've just learned that she has also turned down an invitation from the Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii for a Senate forum. This is about the second or third business organization that she's turned down. Starting in January with Smart Business Hawaii and continuing through some of the business organizations such as the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce, she turned them down. But maybe the icing on the cake is the Democratic Party of Hawaii convention this coming weekend. Our own party's convention. The delegates from across the state who have an important choice to make between me and Mazie as to who can carry our party's banner into the general election against Linda Lingle. Mazie refused to debate at the convention, anytime, any place, under any condition. She refused to debate as the delegates wanted us to do. And as a result, neither of us has a formal speaking engagement to the convention. Imagine that. The most important election this year, certainly one of the most important in a generation. And for our party at its state convention, the principal candidates are not speaking as a result of her refusal. But she had time to pay $4,000 to buy herself some time to speak to the convention. Buy time to speak to the convention? Refusing any statewide TV debates, as I've said before, was and is an insult to the voters. Turning down HPU and the other organizations was sad, but paying to avoid debates, that's pathetic. We really need to have her change her mind, and I hope, Mazie, that as you take a look at the poll results today and realize that voters don't like the way that you're conducting your campaign and want us to be available to you, I hope you change your mind. Happy to have questions.
Tell us a little bit more about the poll. There was some notes on it where it talked about sample weighted based on turnout model and some other stuff. Tell us more about that sort of in layman's terms. What does that mean versus just a straight answer of the phone?
Well, I'm not going to, I'm not a poll expert, so the methodology is similar to other polls that have been done here in Hawaii and have been time tested, I think, for accuracy from that methodology perspective. What they are basically saying is where they know that there are differences between the poll sample and the actual voter sample, they're going to try to adjust for that.
Have you been told by the Oahu Democrats when they're going to reschedule that? Do you have any idea?
No, I have no idea whatsoever when it's going to be rescheduled.
Because she's saying 5 debates. I mean, it's 5. It's not nothing. And so this is going to be one of the 5. So if she goes through with that.
No, what I said was statewide TV.
Statewide TV. Okay.
Yes, and by the way, we don't at all concede that what she's agreed to are debates.
Okay.
Hey, if she wants to call them joint discussions, forums, whatever. The bottom line here is, I'm pretty used to the idea that when I get a resume or a tape from somebody who wants a job with me, I don't just rely on the resume and tape. That's not as far as I go. I interview them. And if I don't interview them, I don't hire them. And this is like Mazie applying for the job, refusing the interview, and then expecting the voters to hire her.
Mr. Case, so are you expecting, if you do have the debate, to just bulldoze over? Like, are you expecting just to do very well against her?
I'm expecting to have a discussion, side by side, answering the voters' questions. That's what I'm expecting. I don't think that's too much to ask. And it's certainly not unusual. We're having a mayoral debate this week. The second one, the mayoral candidates are having no problem. All across this country, U.S. Senate candidates are having debates. presidential candidates are having debates. Is there some reason why Hawaii is different? None at all.
If you did have a debate in the way that you wanted to, what do you think the starkest difference that Democrats can see between you and Hirono? What's the biggest thing you think they would take from the debate?
Ability to stand up on the floor of the Senate and advocate for Hawaii effectively and to lead our country. We believe that that's a contrast, and frankly, we believe that that's why Mazie is refusing to debate, because they have already probably tested that idea in their own polls and have decided that it's a real risk. And I think that's sad, because she's applying for one of the most important jobs in our country.
The statement from her camp is pretty routinely this unprecedented 5. Call them what you will, unprecedented 5. Is that true?
No, it's not at all unprecedented that we will have statewide TV debates and other debates in key races. We had a series of debates in the governor's campaigns. We have had debates. We are having a debate at the Democratic Party of Hawaii Convention between the CD2 candidates. They're having no problem debating. There are debates that have occurred throughout our history, dating back to the old days when we would run around the state and debate on a flatbed truck. That tradition is a tradition of our party and a tradition of democracy that is being ignored in this case.
Are you going to find a way to address the Democrats at the convention, or what is your plan on that?
Well, we're doing a very much of a grassroots outreach to our delegates, fellow delegates at the convention. We're certainly going to be spending the time with them. I'm going to be personally talking with them, as I have throughout the state, with tens if not hundreds of thousands of voters over the last year plus. So we're going to find a way to reach our fellow delegates.
You'll be at the convention.
Yes.
Are you not buying rally time on principle, or you just feel like it's something you don't want to invest in, because other candidates can buy
I think
rally
it's just a combination. I don't feel it's right for me to have to buy time to address my convention. And in that sense, I think, as I said, I think Mazie is actions are pathetic. I also have better uses of my money.
Do you know more about how they decided to charge to speak at the convention? This is something new, is it not?
It is, and I don't know how that arose. That has really arisen just in the last few days, so you'd have to ask the party on
And the
how that
fee was $4,000? Did I hear that correct?
It's $500 per minute.
Per minute.
Right, and reported.
Do the math,
in
right.
invested in 8 minutes, so I'm curious to see what she says in 8
Okay.
minutes.
Do you feel that was done to box you in, or to put you in a corner and make you stand on principle
You
against
know,
it?
I feel uncomfortable speculating on why the party did what it was. My view of my party and the people that are organizing the convention is that they've been scrupulously fair on this. So I really believe that they approached this simply from trying to generate some revenue. But I do think that it gave her an opportunity to speak where the convention had already told her how they wanted her to speak, and she had declined that opportunity.
Anything else you want to add that we didn't ask?
We're looking forward to the next 82 days. We're going to continue to work right around the state, and we feel that we have very, very good momentum at this point. We feel that the matchup between us and Mazie in the Democratic primary is a very, very good matchup as it's developing, and I think voters are doing what we asked them to do, and all that we asked them to do, and that is to think this choice through very carefully. And I think they're doing that, and I think that counts for where things are going for us.
Did your poll address the lingo factor, who would match up best against lingo?
Not directly. We didn't poll the specific general election question because we were focusing on Democratic primary voters. But what we did see is what is reported in summary here, which is that my base of support really in the Democratic primary voters is very broad, broader than Mazie's, and it gives us a much better positioning